One of the interesting stories is was it The Guns of Navarone? Do you remember watching The Guns of Navarone?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that was quite interesting was that there's a film called Pulp Fiction, which is a sort of within the last 20 years. And the characters keep talking about Guns of Navarone. And you kind of wonder, what is it they're actually talking about? No, there's a scene in it where they've discovered that one of their member is a traitor. It's a young girl that's in there. And David Niven says to Gregory Peck, "Come off the cross and be a father." Okay? And they're all wearing German uniforms with their British uniforms underneath. But they're all acting like Nazis in the way that they're actually presenting themselves in the story. The conflicts, it's almost as though because they put on the uniforms of the Germans, they've become like the Germans. Now, what was interesting was that when I was showing that story, I had a classroom assistant who was a German. So I actually said to the students, okay, let's turn the story around. Let's pretend that they were German soldiers and they were wearing British uniforms and they were having the same kind of, how would that come across? How would you think about that? Because it totally turns things, because they're two armies, it doesn't matter what the politics or anything, they're two armies fighting. Generally speaking, I think in the story you're probably telling, it's the ordinary everyday folk that are the ones that suffer in most kind of battles because they're forced into going to do one or two people's desires to fight one another. Okay, and you get all these conflicts. There's a great little film, I think it's called Days of Heaven or something. It's about an American soldier in the Second World War who thought he got shot a couple of times and for some miracle hadn't. And he saves the life of a German young lad that was about 19 who was about to be executed in the middle of the story. So it was how his compassion for another human being meant that the other soldier was compassionate back to other people. So it was actually about compassion in a horrible sort of situation. So that's where you end up with the kind of self-revelations. So each character in the story suddenly realizes that what their goals are may be more detrimental to the majority of people. And it could be that the character's being quite selfish in what their aims are. And as they begin to realize through their encounters with other people, they begin to reflect and maybe realize that they need to be taking a slightly different approach. And that's where you get someone in a story who seems quite selfish suddenly becomes selfless and will actually sacrifice their life for the other people around them. Okay, and I think there's tons of stories like that. I'm thinking of Jaws again. I'm trying to think of the Robert Shaw character who eventually died in it, kind of, sort of, maybe gave his life. You know, there are other stories. You probably have other film ideas that you could think of. I hope you enjoyed the film. Please subscribe and click on the notification bell, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for watching.